I'm not gonna lie, I thought you said crack at first, and I was like, hold up. What is happening?
Well, that escalated.
We got really comfortable if that's what you're drinking.
I'm apparently subbing for Colin this episode, so.
Fair.
Now I need to know. Welcome to another episode of Anime and Tea Podcast. This is episode 7, and today's topic, we are talking about anime that we watched when we were young and grew into liking other anime. Well, we have Omar, Mara, and Zoe with us for this episode, and as always, at the end, I will discuss about the next episode so you guys are aware what's coming up next. Other than that, we can start off. Today, I am currently drinking Dr. Pepper and cream soda, zero sugar. If you've never tried it, you should, because it not only does it have zero sugar, but I gotta say it's one of like the best cream sodas with no sugar. So yeah, I'm just recommending it out of there. What's in your guys' cups?
I got some Kraken that we can put in that cream soda.
Never tried that.
Oh my god, it is delicious. Nothing like a Kraken and cream soda.
Yum.
Me, myself, I am drinking some sugar-free Red Bull. Not because for health purposes, but because I actually like the taste better. And I've been staying up really late lately because the Xenoblade 3 DLC came out. So I'm running off of like no sleep and nothing but caffeine. So Red Bull until I'm done.
Honestly, I should be running on caffeine, but you know, whatevs. Doing the opposite.
You're being responsible.
I know.
Too old for responsibility.
I am actually sporting a Hello Kitty sparkling wine.
Ooh. Is it good?
I mean, it's pretty old at this point. I got it quite a few years ago as a gift and just never opened it to drink it. And then opened it last night, and I mean, it's drinkable. It's wine. It's not my favorite, but I do like it for what wine is to me.
I've got to ask, is it strawberry flavored?
No, I think it's like sparkling rosé or something like that. It doesn't, like, to me, wine doesn't really have that much of a flavor. It's just there.
I agree. I hate wine, honestly. Like, I don't know why people drink it. I'm like,
I don't love wine. There's some good wine, but like Hello Kitty wine it's Hello Kitty wine. I didn't expect much to begin with, but it's not disgusting. I can drink it.
It's for the brand.
My thing is I have been around so many wine drinkers. I do not like any kind of red wines, but I love a nice rosé, and Riesling is 100% my favorite. But mainly, I love sweet wines. I like alcohol in general that does not taste like alcohol.
Yes. I agree with that.
Moscato is my go-to when it comes to that.
Yes.
I love Moscato.
Yeah.
Moscato. As long as it's not too dry, Moscato is very good.
Strawberry margaritas. For the win. I will throw my masculinity out the door and love up on a freaking strawberry margarita, especially if it's frozen. Absolutely.
Ooh, with the lime and salt.
Absolutely.
Delicious.
That is not throwing it out the door. That like enhances it, dude.
That's what I find hilarious is the fact that like a lot of guys are like, I'm gonna drink my manly beer, and it's like that is like 3% alcohol, my dude. This little fruity drink that I have is at least 50%. Come at me.
What are you drinking, Zoe?
I already said I'm drinking. No, I'm drinking water. Yes, water. Totally not alcohol.
Totally not the Kraken that you threw out there.
But no, I am genuinely drinking my water. I've got my giant 64-ounce water bottle I carry around with me everywhere. So,
oh my god, that must be heavy.
When it's full, it definitely is. But that's what you need whenever you live in such a dry climate. And my Louisiana swamp ass is not acclimated to it.
That is so true. Honestly, every time summer hits, or spring, like I get chapped lips and I'm like, why is it so dry here? It's awful every time. start off with 4 different ones that I started watching when I was a kid or semi like preteen that kind of grew into other shows that I enjoyed. So basically one of my favorites of all time, and I probably already mentioned this in previous ones, was Hellsing. So Hellsing is a huge vampire series that I just absolutely loved, but that also grew into me just loving vampires in general. Now, just to clarify, I like vampire anime. I'm not huge on like TV shows or movies, just vampire anime. And I don't know if it's because of those 2D cute boys might be the reason.
Always.
You will be my bride throughout eternity. We'll share the endless passion of immortal love.
Oh, I can't wait.
Because you want to be bit by a hot guy.
I guess only 2D guys. Real ones.
No 3D hot guys.
Yeah, real ones. I guess it's not as good. But because of Hellsing, it did make me want to watch more vampires. So as I grew older, I did watch Vampire Knight, Blood Plus, Blood Lad, Shiki. I wasn't a huge fan of it. I liked how different it was, kind of like dark and stuff, but I was not a huge fan of the storyline. And then Seraph of the End. Of course, I have a huge list of all the other ones. Castlevania just came out, like, what was it, like 5 years ago? Or no, like 3 maybe? I forget. But I absolutely love Castlevania. I was so happy when that one came out.
Why is it that only human hands can reach into hell? Don't you think that's weirdly f***ed up? I can't do it. But you could. So do it. Finish it. It'll be fun.
The second show that I watched when I was a kid is called Metabox. I don't know if you guys remember that.
I do remember Metabots.
I
such a cute show.
Love that show. It was so cute because it had the robots and there wasn't an actual pilot. So I just like that, these kids had robots and they fought each other. I was like, that's even better. They're just kids and they have these robots. Like,
Googling
best
it right
thing.
now.
Now, because of that, it did get me into, like, I'm not going to say for sure mecha animes, but I would say, like, a lot of them did have actual pilots in them. So, for example, Zoids, Darling in the Franxx did come out, like, a few years back. I absolutely love the actual, like, robots. I hate the storyline, and that's going to be in a different episode of, like, one of the animes that could have been great. Darling in the Franxx was like so up there. It could have been so good. Gurren Lagann.
Yes.
God, I absolutely love that one with all the mechas. Guilty Crown was another one in Eureka 7.
Yeah.
And I'm still waiting to watch season 2 of 86. But I do like the whole concept because they're not huge. They do have like smaller robots, but yeah, those are just a few that I got into, and I think it just kind of grew from Metabox in specific.
The super fighting robot!
Oh,
wait!
Oh, he got one!
Super fighting robot! Mega Man! Fighting to save the world!
My next one is Digimon. So, of course, this is probably like the 12th time I like just go on a rant on Digimon, but it did take me a while to consider that it is considered an isekai. So I think my love for isekai is probably because from my like love for Digimon. So that did get me into Overlord and No Game No Life, Woo! Jobless Reincarnated. My ultimate favorite one that like is still ongoing is Reincarnated into a Slime. I think that one was like beautifully done, and it's just like in a weird way peaceful because they're not just trying I guess I don't know how to explain. So Rimuru isn't like trying to fight people and getting stronger or anything. He just wants to create a peaceful world. And that's kind of like what I love about it. Of course, war happens and other countries try to fight. And it's just a whole chaotic, but it's not like that's what he wanted to do. It just kind of generally happened because humans. And I think I also like that it had like so many different races too. Like I do like that there's lizard people, and I forgot what they're called, but they're like ninjas.
Those Onis?
Yes. Oh god, I thought that was cool too. It's just like a hybrid of people. I just love it. I would recommend it for sure. Last, of course, Sailor Moon was one of the huge ones that a lot of people watched. And it is considered like a magical girl. Now, I'm not huge on magical girls, but it did tempt me to watch Madoka Magica, which was another one that I just generally enjoyed. Not to say that was the only other magical girl that I watched. I just feel like lately there hasn't been really good ones. But Madoka Magica was just one that people were like, you should watch it. And I was like, okay, I watched it. And I love how dark it is. And I love the girls' outfits. Like, they're just so cute in a way that I'm just like, oh my God, like, ones have guns and I don't know, just the different weapons that everyone has. There was a few years back, they did do like a Madoka Magica, but it was like a spin-off. I liked that one too. It was more calm though. And it didn't have like the same amazing storyline as the original one, which tends to happen. I forgot the name of it, but yeah, if you ever get a chance and if you like the first one, maybe try it out. I never finished it because it got to a point where I'm just like, it's not getting that hype, so we'll just drop it. But yeah, those are just a few animes that I started off with, and then it just grew to other types of animes. Let's hit it off to some of our other members and see what else they watched. Omar, can you tell me what you've kind of grown into?
Before we go into that, I do just want to say I like how we glazed over the fact that you apparently watched Hellsing as a child.
Well, that one was like a preteen. So I was like 10-ish.
We're just like, it's no big deal. 10-year-old watching Hellsing.
What I want to bring up is the fact that she named all of these vampire animes and did the injustice of not even mentioning Vampire Hunter D.
Oh yeah, I never watched that one.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. It's just I didn't want to.
Oh, this is your objection moment.
I didn't want to have like a 50 list of all the vampires animes I watched. So I was like, I'll just pick a few that I really liked. I did hear of that one.
Fair enough.
At least. So
I'm coming to your house and I'm forcing you to watch that and the sequel.
It was so good, so good. Both of them.
I'm with you. I haven't seen it.
Oh, thank God.
Mara, I'm kidnapping you and we're going to Kim's house and we're all going to watch them together.
All right. Well, now that that's gone off the rails, my job here is done.
Of course.
No, but going up into mine, I'm going to have I think we're going to hear a lot of similar anime here for kind of what we got started with. So for mine, like I got started out with like Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, a lot of the same ones that a lot of people, especially like in my age range and younger, kind of started off with as well, seeing that stuff on Toonami, Fox Kids, WB Kids, all that kind of stuff. For me, it didn't really jump into a specific anime after those first ones. What it really did for me is it really helped me grow into embracing the medium as a whole. So like I got my feet wet with, the basics. And after, watching a lot of Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, Pokemon, another thing that I was really into at the time was Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. And so played through that so many times. And so I was at the video store, I was looking for an anime, and I saw one with an elf on the front. And I was like, you know what? I'm loving anime right now. I'm super into elf-like characters. Let's check this out. And what I got was Record of Lodoss War. Which was also my first foray into subtitles, because I was so old, I'm so old that when I rented this at the video store, it was an actual VHS. So it wasn't like a DVD where I'm like, oh, I can do dub or sub, whatever. No, I rented it. It was subtitled. There was no option for dub. So it was my first time getting into subtitled anime at the same time. And it had a really good, mature story, fantasy based. And it kind of led me into wanting to check out more, a little bit more fantasy anime. So that's kind of also when I watched Vampire Hunter D, because it still had kind of that fantasy aspect to it because of the time period it takes place in. And as I started watching more anime, then it just kind of grew into just seeing like, okay, what else is out there as a whole? So then I started to, I checked out things like Digimon, which then led me to some more of the isekai stuff like Escaflowne and other shows of that nature. And then it just kind of snowballed to a point of, if it's out there, I'm going to give it a try if I can find it. I grew up in a cow town, so my pickings are pretty slim. So I would try just about anything. And it kind of led to one of my favorite series called The Slayers, which is an amazing series that ended up turning into like 5 different animes that they did each for a season. And from there, it was just on to whatever else I could find, getting Netflix and the DVDs in the mail, and then stumbling upon Kim's favorite genre of ecchi at one point, which
oh my god, I didn't even mention that.
Finding that when you're like 17, you're like, okay, I guess I could watch boobs bounce around. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And at this point, desensitized now, I just watch anything. And it's just kind of it's a process, but it really just those first ones are what helped me embrace the genre as a whole and really gave me a chance to try it out and take it seriously as something of not just entertainment, but for deeper storytelling, like we're seeing with some of the new ones like Oshinoko, which just came out. Stuff we've seen from like Demon Slayer to FMA, even though Jose said FMA is mid, which I still can't, still throwing me off there, but whatever.
Yeah, we're gonna need him to like get on an episode where it's like, what opinion is that? Like, what?
I will defend him on that though.
The hot take of the week: FMA Brotherhood. Sorry, specifically.
He says mid. He called it a 7 out of 10. It's not like FMA Brotherhood is the all be all of anime. It's not 100% the best anime of all time. It was a good anime, and you should watch FMA Brotherhood. But I'm not going to say it's the absolute best anime of all time. I'm not going to give it a 10 out of 10. I agree with a 7 out of 10.
Ooh, they're going to team up for the hot take.
On our next episode, Mara and Jose and why they're wrong.
I don't know if I'll say it's the best of all time, but I definitely would have to say it has to be, for me, it's at least it's between a 9 and a 10. But everyone has their own opinions, and that's the way it rolls.
I can't give it a 10.
FMA Brotherhood is 10 out of 10 anime, and you will not be able to convince me otherwise.
Yeah.
I want to hear what other animes you give 10 out of 10s, and then we can talk.
Are we finally talking about redo of Healer?
I knew she was going to say that. I knew it.
Honestly, Omar, I gotta say, like, I used to think that like, I am willing to watch anything until I met you, and now I'm like, I am not the person that watches everything. Because whenever I ask for recommendations and you like hit me with them, and I'm just like, Omar, why would you like watch this? Like, this is just total crap, and you're like, I'm willing to watch it, and I'm like, wow, that's whew.
Here's the thing. Trash anime is a lot like junk food. It's okay to have a little bit here and there, and it really makes you appreciate a good full course meal when you have it.
That's a good point for FMA Brotherhood. If you've seen that much trash anime, that's probably why it's a 10 out of 10.
Wow, she's coming for blood.
Dang, Mara.
I am defending that it's a good anime. It is definitely above 5. It's not just a 5. It's not a 6. 7 might be too low for me. 8. 8 is about as high as I'll go. I'm not giving it a 10. It does not deserve a 10.
Okay, that's not bad.
So I could live with that because that's a B. Like a 7 is a C.
Yeah, that's like a B.
Yeah, I'll give it B plus. I'll give it B grade anime. It's, to be fair, it's an A grade anime.
Honestly, it's hard to like grade anime for me. Like, I can't just say like, okay, yes, this has to be in my top 10 because it's like constantly moving with all the new stuff coming in. So it's like it's so hard.
Yes.
Anyways, that's my anime story. It just, for me, it grew into loving the genre.
We're gonna make an episode where we just go over like what is considered a 10 in everyone's like spectrum. I'm gonna put that on there.
Dano here by the power of editing to tell you the correct answer is Fooly Cooley. But hey, that's a discussion for another time. Anyway, back to this episode.
But go ahead and let us know what's basically what anime you grew into.
Sailor Moon. I mean, it's gonna sound like completely repetitive at this point, but I don't want to talk about ages. I think we've all started off with the same or similar animes. Sailor Moon was literally my first one. And Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Those are all, basic, I'm going to call them 90s animes. That's what I started with. Basic 90s anime on TV. It really went from Sailor Moon to anything else on Toonami to then anything else on Adult Swim that wasn't, too bad for my 10, 12-year-old heart. And then pretty much anything else that I could get my hands on after that. It's really, really open right now. I watch kind of like Omar, but probably not as bad as Omar. I watch just about everything that catches my interest. The problem is something actually catching my interest. I get bored really fast. Like if the first episode doesn't capture me, or if one of the images for the anime coming out doesn't capture me, or if the manga image doesn't capture me, I won't watch it. Someone has to make me watch it.
So what is your limitation on that? Is it just straight up if they're starting off super slow, you're not gonna be for example, if it was an anime where it starts super slow, but until you get to episode say 6, things don't pick up, would you still be willing to watch it?
I would, depending on a ton of other things. I think for me, Reincarnated as a Slime was kind of like that. I didn't want to watch it at first because Reincarnated as a Slime sounded like a really stupid title. And a slime as a main character would not sound appealing to me. But as soon as I saw him as a human, I'm in. This looks adorable. I love him. He's so cute. And again, my obsession with cute anime guys comes through again. But that's all I needed for me to say I'm willing to watch this show. And as soon as I see that scene of him dying, I was so completely hooked. Because his first thought, sorry, spoiler alert, everybody, his first thought was telling his coworker/friend to bury his PC in water so that nobody could get access to anything on there. That had me.
And he does it, for the record. That's a bro.
Yeah, such a good friend.
That's a true bro right there. I totally forgot about that. Oh my god.
Hey, Tamra. Promise me something. My computer's hard drive. I need you to dump it in the bathtub and fry it.
Yeah, from there, that anime just it got me hooked. And it's stuff like that where I wouldn't have watched it because stupid name, stupid main character, whatever my personal thoughts on it were back then. That one thing that made it good captured me and brought me back in. And it's usually just a really cute guy.
I do appreciate the spoiler alert for something that happened after the first 90 seconds.
Yeah, is it even considered a spoiler alert in that?
Yeah, I mean,
fact, if it happens first episode, as long as you watch the first episode, you know what happens.
But if you haven't seen the first episode, it's a spoiler.
I've never seen the series in general, but I saw that on TikTok and I was like, okay, that could be the reason why I start watching this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tiny stuff like that. Probably if I saw that scene, I would laugh my head off and then say, okay, I might be okay with watching it if that's the main character, if that personality is the main character.
I did like the subtle dig she had at me, by the way, just for the record.
Very, very subtle.
Oh, I'm not as bad as Omar. I'm whoa.
Because to be fair, from what Kim said, it sounded like you had some trash anime. I know I watch trash anime. I don't know what trash anime you watch. And you probably watched more trash anime than I have.
I scope out trash anime. I don't watch all of it to completion, for the record.
That's fair. Okay.
Mostly. There are a few trash anime I watched the whole thing just because it was I had to see how trashy it was going to get.
That's my character. I'm the trash man. I come out, I throw trash all over the ring. And then I start eating garbage.
Oh, the Fruits of Evolution.
Oh, is that one bad? I actually wanted to watch that one.
It's trash.
Fruit of Grisaya, I think it's called.
Domestic Girlfriend's another one. That one, me and Joe got into it on that one, though. Because she refused to say it's trash. I'm sorry, it's trash.
Yeah, I might have the same taste as you then.
All right. Well, Zoe, can you tell us what what anime you grew into from your childhood?
I kind of wanted to get into a specific genre. So I decided I was going to go ahead and talk about sci-fi animes. Not only anime that are set in sci-fi worlds, but also sci-fi animes that were showing on Sci-Fi Channel, as well as actually some of these actually also showed on MTV for a little while. Now, for those of the older generation, like myself and Omar, we remember whenever anime was shown on the Sci-Fi Channel. And this is kind of before and during the time whenever Toonami was really getting big. And they showed, it wasn't really series, it was more movies. Like you had Akira, Ghost in the Shell, Armitage the Third, which is still one of my absolute favorite anime. Aeon Flux is another one that also showed a lot. So it was all of these sci-fi animes that they were showing on the Sci-Fi Channel, which I thoroughly enjoyed. Half the time I had no idea what was going on. I just knew, hey, this cool girl is actually a robot, and she also has like these super sexy outfits on, and she's fighting crime and all this other stuff, and I have no idea what's going on, but it looks really cool. So that was kind of basically from the time that I was renting the videos from the local video store, and eventually in high school, whenever I started watching Toonami, that was kind of my in-between era, where, again, it wasn't really series that I watched, it was whatever movies that they were showing on the Sci-Fi Channel. And of course, all of these different sci-fi anime eventually would grow into, like, on Toonami, Cowboy Bebop, Outlaw Star, Tenchi Muyo, and then that would continue into Blue Sub 6, Gurren Lagann, Ergo Proxy, Witch Hunter Robin, just all of these different sci-fi anime where, I mean, a lot of the times it's like dystopian future, you know, tech isn't readily available, or, you know, giant robots, bigger guns, you know, so, but I always enjoyed, more than anything, I always really enjoyed the human aspect that was in these animes, you know, these inner conflicts that they always had of, you know, governments against the little people, and, you know, rebellions, and is what we're doing really ethical, and there's always this sort of underlining theme of this is for the greater good, quote unquote, whenever the greater good is usually whoever is on top.
Nonsense! This babble offers no proof at all that you're a living, thinking life form.
And can you offer me proof of your existence? How can you, when neither modern science nor philosophy can explain what life is?
Who the hell is this?
That's like so deep. And like, I'm not mocking. That is like actually legit really cool. I am such a child when it comes to anime.
I have been taking ethics this semester.
Putting that class to skills.
Yeah, that's legit really cool about sci-fi and stuff.
I do have a question for you, Zoe. So when we were interviewing people, I met someone who's like, I'm just not into sci-fi.
Yes.
And I was just like, how is that? Like, I don't know, maybe in my mind, sci-fi is like anything that's not human, I guess, or like kind of normal. So I was like, maybe like my definition of sci-fi is so broad. So I was like, I never asked them what they thought was considered sci-fi, but anime, like nowadays, it's just so much sci-fi. So it's like, I don't even know how it's possible for one person not to enjoy that genre. But like in your views, like what would you consider sci-fi?
To me, sci-fi is anything that has a form of technology that we do not currently have at this time. Something like, and Star Trek is a good example of that. They have spaceships. We don't have the technology to have spaceships like that. You know, Gurren Lagann, huge mechs that somehow get bigger, and then they get bigger and bigger. that's something we don't have the technology for. But then at the same time, you can also have animes that have fantasy elements, such as Vampire Hunter D, which is technically fantasy because it is vampires. However, it is in a futuristic dystopian society that is huge on technology. So it is a mix of the two.
Interesting. I'm curious, have you seen Knights in Magic?
I have not.
Okay, it has technically the thought. I love it too, but it has like the thought of mecha, but the mecha is magically powered, mana and all of that stuff. Is that like, that's not strictly sci-fi then, according to I think any definition by it, it's also magical and
exactly.
fantasy.
And then there's like Escaflowne, which we talked about in our last episode, where there is a giant mech, but it's an isekai where she's in a fantasy world with like cat girls and people that have wings. So it's like, it's ¿por qué no los dos? You know?
Very good pronunciation. Very good.
Thank you.
I've never heard that meme verbalized.
Really? You've never seen the commercial?
No, I've only seen the gif of the meme repeatedly. Never seen the actual thing.
Wow.
That hurts.
How do you decide between crunchy and soft tacos?
¿Por qué no los dos?
Old El Paso, hard and soft tacos.
I did want to ask you, so since you mentioned Ghost in the Shell, did you ever watch the live action that came out?
I have not. However, I have seen the live action Aeon Flux. And honestly, I understand that it was a movie based off of like I think Aeon Flux had 2 seasons of anime, but I appreciated the nods that they gave to the anime. It wasn't a terrible movie, but it definitely could have been fixed in some ways. But I appreciated the little nods that they kept in it. So, but Ghost in the Shell, I have unfortunately not seen, and Battle Angel Alita is another one that I've been wanting to watch.
Ooh, that was so good. I loved that one.
Yeah.
The live action or the anime?
There's an anime?
NANI? Oh my god!
Oh my god, really? Oh no!
I thought you guys were talking about the live action. I was like, oh, I love that one. It was so cool.
That's why they made the live action.
Yeah. I was talking about live action. I just assumed that we're still talking about live action.
Okay. Let's rewind. Can we have the rewind sound right now? So, Kim, I'm not sure if you heard, but along with Ghost in the Shell and Aeon Flux, there is also an anime that Battle Angel Alita, the movie, is based off of.
What's it called?
Battle Angel Alita.
Oh, so it's the same name. Oh my gosh,
same concept that they've been doing,
just like the other ones,
anime
yes.
into live actions.
And that's another one. I want to say they showed that one on the Sci-Fi Channel too. I want to say
it sounds familiar, but could also just be making up memories at this point. I lost track of what's real or not real anymore.
That live action.
The live action came out about 5 years ago.
I would say like.
I just wanted to make sure we're talking about the same one, and that there isn't like an older Battle Angel Alita live action that I missed somewhere.
Not live action, no. I mean, unless they made one in Japan, which they're very ought to do. So,
yeah, this one came out in 2019.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so even sooner than I thought.
Yeah. Oh my god, though, like they chose a pretty good actress for that, though. She looks almost like close to the anime.
They did a little CG on the face on that one.
Her eyes for it.
Yeah, they had to CGI her eyes a bit.
Yeah, it freaked me out, but they did a good job.
Yeah.
Man, little did I know that there was an actual anime for that. I was just like,
it hurts that you didn't know.
That hurt my soul, Kim.
I saw your soul leave your body.
I thought it was a comic because I saw like some comics about it, and I was like, I didn't know that.
Like many anime, it was originally based off of a manga.
All right, well, I guess I gotta watch the series. Add
it to your list.
Yeah, because I already have like 9 current ones that I'm watching, and now I'm like, oh god.
Every cast member has an ever-growing list that we have to watch now.
I know. That's how it feels.
We love our voice actors, though.
Yes, we do. Thank you, everybody who does voice acting. You're all impressive.
Except for Chris Pratt, I'm still bitter that you're Mario.
Oh,
I know.
But in Redemption, thank you, Jack Black.
Yes. Always thank you, Jack Black.
Did you hear that apparently they are showing the Japanese voices of Mario Bros? They're like in some select theaters, they're doing the voiceover in Japanese. And so many people are like, I'm so interested on like the Peaches song, how that's going to go. And I'm just like...
Momo, just repeatedly.
I've actually heard, I haven't heard the Japanese one, but I did see a video where they showed Peaches in different languages like German and French and Spanish. The guy who does the Spanish voice for Bowser, oh my gosh. Like, I thought Jack Black did a great job. This guy was incredible. And the Peaches song was just like seductive.
Oh, well, now I'm curious.
You know, curious.
Oh, yeah.
Kim, we'll watch it together.
If you look up, this was on TikTok, but if you look up Peaches in different languages, it's probably going to pop up.
Don't worry, Mara. I will find it and send it to you.
Yes.
Well, we went totally off topic, but that's totally okay.
That's okay.
The Mario movie's an isekai, so it's fine.
Technically, yes. It works to our benefit.
That time my brother got kidnapped by a dragon and I, a regular plumber, had to go and rescue him and found a princess along the way.
Yeah.
Looks like we spilled all our tea for today. Follow us on all socials at animeandtea.com. That's anime, ANDTEA.com, or email us at anime.teapodcast@gmail.com. You can also listen to us through different platforms such as Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. To become a patron and help support our podcast, please go to patreon.com/anime tea podcast. Currently only $5 a month. Even if you're not a patron, we appreciate you for sharing, listening, and engaging. All right, well, we are officially out of tea. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode, and if there are any anime that you started off with that grew, whether it's genres, anything specific, or just in general, please send us an email. We would love to hear it, and we can give out a shout out to our next episode. Just so if you are curious what our next episode is going to be about, we are going to talk about Artist Alley and Dealer's Room and conventions. This very exciting because honestly, we don't hear a lot from conventions in podcasts, and I feel like it's important, especially for new congoers. So we'll kind of go over some tips and tricks, and also since we have a lot of members that actually apply for Artist Alley and sell their own stuff, maybe we can even hear from them on the whole process as well. So thank you so much. We hope you listen to our next episode, and as always, follow our social media for updates, but we will catch you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Peaches, don't forget.
Peaches.